All right, welcome back to Inside the Cage. I'm your host, Brady Johnson. Here with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the brother of Cowboys tight end, Jake Ferguson. And Bennett, we're back.
We are
We're
here.
back.
Been a
Looks like
minute.
we're going to do a college football playoff prediction show. We're also going to talk about some of the awards from yesterday. Wow, what a day it was for awards. And I would like to say, Jacob Rodriguez, you deserve all them awards, but you should also be a Heisman finalist. I hate that you're not a Heisman finalist, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, and personally, I think that the Heisman Trophy should be the end of the awards night. I think the fact that they do all those awards and then they have the Heisman tonight is really stupid. Because
Last year they did it all together.
now they're going to make this whole pageant out of everybody showing up for one award,
I know it's crazy, but last year they put it all together.
which they should have. I mean,
I don't know why
ridiculous.
they're doing it different this year because they want more money. I
More
guess
money. They want money.
more money.
But we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into we're not going to have a conversation about why they're doing what they're doing. Who gives a fuck
No.
about why they're doing it?
Who gives a crap what they're doing?
No.
Anyways.
So, but we're going to jump into these awards real quick before we get to the college football playoff stuff. Because honestly, the award stuff that happened, I mean, there was maybe one or two where I'm like, well, I would have gone here instead of there. But
All right, we're going to start it with the Maxwell Award winner, which is for the National Player of the Year, and that went to no other than Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, who's also the lead candidate right now in the Heisman voting. As of right now, he's the lead candidate in Heisman voting as of right now.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it went to Mendoza. It was between Mendoza, Love, and Sayan, which Mendoza's the only guy on the list that was in consideration in my mind. I mean,
In my mind, I thought Mendoza was the best player this
there
year.
are two players who have done more for their teams this year than anyone in college football. Fernando Mendoza, and let me make sure I get his name right here. Jacob Rodriguez. Those are the only two who have done more for their team. Not Jordan Love. What's his name?
Who?
The running back.
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah, thank you. Started with a J. Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love was really good this year. He's definitely first-round pick running back. He's definitely going to be impactful for like the next, 5 years, because we know running backs, they fall off the cliff after 5 years. But he's good. He's really good in college. In Notre Dame, what do they have every single year? Good O-line. Good O-line. And they keep their quarterback upright. One of the least sacked guys in the country, C.J. Carr.
I will say this year, this Notre Dame offensive line battled through some injuries, and the backups came in, because I know they had a backup left tackle in and a backup right guard, and I think a backup center for a couple of games, and that's backups playing this good with Jeremiah Love. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, personally, whoever their O-line coaches needs to be investigated for steroid use. Now, but he's really good. They have a really good O-line every single year. They recruit well. Their mentality is keep the guys upright, get the holes open for the run game, keep the pass blocking simple, keep them in front of you, and you're going to win every time. And that's one of the things that Notre Dame did this year. They struggled against Miami and another team, a couple other teams.
Yep.
But when it came down to playing tough competition, Jeremiah Love excelled because of that O-line. And that's one of the things that makes it hard for position player, like a running back position player, to win these awards, is so much relies on that O-line to get the holes open, to hit every block they have to hit, to be there. That is hard for Jeremiah Love to win. He did win the running back award, right?
He also, yes, bringing up to what you said, he won the Doak Walker Award, which is the best running back in the country. So
there was no question it was him. I know the kid from, what was it? Not Wisconsin, right? Red School still, right? Nebraska had the most rushing yards this season.
Yeah, Nebraska. It was It was the backup running back at Nebraska.
Yeah,
starters out.
They were supposed to have another guy, but regardless, the impact that Jeremiah Love had with Notre Dame, he was their number one guy. Like, you can't sit here and go, oh, well, CJ Carr.
No, CJ Carr was a freshman.
CJ Carr could have not been out there. You could have had me out there. And I think Notre Dame might have won as many games as they did just off of Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Smith's a wide receiver for Ohio State. But Fernando Mendoza, he comes in after Curtis Rourke, who Curtis Rourke basically ushered in Indiana. Without him, you're starting what? Cherry at quarterback last year?
Yep.
Without him?
Yep.
And I don't think Indiana would have won as many games. But the principle of Indiana football was last year. That was the ushering in of a new era with Curt Cignetti. And what did he do this year? He went out, he got Fernando Mendoza from Cal, one of the most sacked quarterbacks last year who started, Fernando Mendoza. And he put him with this O-line, which we're not talking enough about Indiana's O-line either. I think all five of them are going to be drafted in the next 2 to 3 years in the draft. And I'm not saying in the 7th round. I'm saying like
first, second.
Not first, but
third
maybe
or fourth.
Second, third, fourth. And maybe one of them will go in the 5th. But we're talking about depth O-linemen who are – but the difference is Indiana 2 years ago, I wouldn't look at a single goddamn one of them and go, oh, yeah, let's take him in the 3rd. Let's take him in the 4th. But now I'm looking at Indiana's O-line, and you talk about one of the O-line position is one of those where you don't have to take a guy in the 1st round. In fact, I frown upon taking like questionable tackles in the 1st round.
Unless you're Joe Alt.
He wasn't questionable. You had Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater,
Will Campbell,
Kelvin Banks, Will Campbell. All of those guys were solid starters in college football without many questions to their ability, other than Will Campbell's arm size. And they got into the league and they showed that they were as good as they were promised. But then you talk about Mekhi Becton. You talk about Isaiah Wilson, who had giant question marks on maturity and on ability, other than they were just large. Even Amarius Mims.
Yep.
And you look at those guys, and it's, why would you
draft Peter Skoronski.
If Amarius Mims was a 3rd-round pick, we would be looking at him like that's a success story.
Oh, well, same thing with Peter Skoronski.
Well, Skoronski, he was a tackle, and they moved his ass into guard. I think they should have tried him at left tackle and see what he could do. One of the things that pisses me off is when people in the media go, oh, well, he's just too small to play tackle at the NFL level.
It don't matter if you're good at tackle. If you're good at tackle, play tackle.
I'll listen to people. Oh, well, we're going in to rebuild the Browns this year. We got to re-sign these guys. Batonio's going to retire, and then they get into the draft and they're bitching and moaning about the O-line for the Cleveland Browns over and over and over again. Just they're really bad this year, and they get into a position to draft somebody, and they go, well, I'm not going to take this guy because he's projected more as a guard. Hello? Did you not just say they needed help?
And especially
crazy,
or when you say Batonio, who is a guard, who's
going to retire. Oh, well, we're going to bring in Rasheed Walker to be our left tackle of the future. Okay, that makes sense. Jack Conklin's going to come back. You want him starting? No. You want a backup plan at the very least because DeJuan Jones is still on the roster. And then they're sitting here, Wyatt Teller, Ethan Pochich are both going to come back because the way that the whole way that they've had to build the team requires them. They need to come back so they can they don't have to pay them all at once. But I'm sitting here going, you're going into the draft. If I'm sitting there, let's say they take a wide receiver with their 1st overall pick in like pick 4 or 5.
Yep.
They have a pick later in the draft because of the Jacksonville trade. And they're sitting there and Caleb Lomu or Ione from Penn State or anybody, Malik Noah from Miami is still on the thing. And they're sitting here going, I would take whoever your favorite is of that. Because if you project all three of them as guards, just take the best guard.
Honestly, they all three are great at wherever. Malik is good everywhere. Lomu's good everywhere. And Fonau is all you can't forget about Fonau either.
Well, but
later
in the draft, I think Fonau is going to be gone. But if
Fonau's going to be gone.
Here's the other thing: if you project a guy as a guard and you just don't like him as a tackle, don't take him. Mind blown, right? If you
Yeah.
project him as a guard, and guard is not an important position in your mind to take at this point in time, and you want to tackle, don't take a guy whose floor is starting NFL tackle. But to get back on point, Fernando Mendoza coming in, he's got a good O-line around him. He had good receivers, which honestly, that kid from Indiana, the receiver from Indiana, I really like him.
Elijah Surratt or Omar Cooper. Omar Cooper!
But that's the difference is Kurt Signetti brought in and ushered in this culture. And next year's going to be his first year without all of his Old Dominion guys because they were all
I mean JMU.
Old Dominion, JMU, same difference. James Madison guys, they're all going to graduate or go into the draft or leave. And so this upcoming season is going to be his first year where he has built the foundation of his program. And these are going to be the guys that Kurt Signetti, in Indiana, Kurt Signetti brought in, and not just James Madison's Kurt Signetti.
Yep.
So Fernando Mendoza leaving sucks. He's got his little brother, who I think his little brother is going to be pretty good too.
I want to say this, Benny. Do you think that with what Kurt Signetti's done in the last 2 years, is he building a dynasty or trying to build I'm not going to say a dynasty. I'm going to try to say, is he trying to build to where Indiana is one of those top teams for the next 5 to 10 years?
So I think one of the things he has going for him is Michigan right now has no clue who their head coach is. And they won't, they're going to make a panic hire of some terrible OC, DC or something because of stalking nasty boy Sharon Moore getting fired.
Unless they get Jesse Minter. I've been seeing Jesse Minter from the Chargers.
I wouldn't go back to college. Jesse Minter might be getting an NFL head coaching job this offseason. Like Brian Dable to Michigan, it won't happen.
Brian Dable ain't going to Michigan. He knows he's going.
Is Michigan's on the downturn? Michigan State's not doing well. They benched Aiden Childs. Ohio State's really your only competition, year in and year out. And so if they can get their schedule to where they play Ohio State maybe once a year, if they have to. And other than that, they meet them in the what is it, the Big Ten?
Big Ten championship game, yeah.
Championship every single year. You can have Indiana atop the poll every single year, at least top 10 every single year.
Do you think Kurt Signetti's done enough to award a dynasty? Can we see him build a dynasty?
What we need to see is with the transfer portal, what it is now, and all the mess that's going. I think within the next 5 years, something big is going to happen with NIL, transfer portal, and it's going to crap itself, and it's going to be bad. But if he can just, instead of going out and trying to get the next big guy, he went after Fernando Mendoza, who I'm sure had better offers, but he went to Indiana because he wanted to do ball. He was
going to go to Miami.
Yeah. But instead of going after the next hot shot, Kirk Signetti's working on recruiting kids from Indiana. Hey, you want to stay in the state? Come play for us. You're good at football? Come play for us. Let's make Indiana a powerhouse state in football, or try to at least.
Yep.
I think he can get connections with the Colts franchise and do stuff with the Colts franchise. That would be huge for getting draft prospects out there. Like he is one of those guys. He's just signed a 7-year deal. His DC just signed a multi-year deal. His OC is on track to sign a multi-year deal. Like they have built the building blocks of, we're not fucking leaving. Kurt Signetti could have fucked off to Penn State. He could be making more money than James Franklin would ever see in his entire life.
Yeah.
To be the head coach at Penn State. But he is committed to Indiana. He's committed to just being there. His wife loves it there. Like whether or not I'm not saying this is like they're going to become a dynasty, but I'm excited to see what happens if Mendoza's little brother takes over at quarterback. If he does well, that's the start of a dynasty.
But what? So like you said with this portal being the way it is, could Signetti be one of those guys to go get another quarterback from the portal and still have Alberto as the backup just in case?
That's a question. That is a question because right now Lenore Sellers just announced he's going back to South Carolina. You can always go get a Bama guy. One of them's going to leave. You can always go get a
Bryce Underwood could transfer.
If he if he goes and gets another senior, it's going to be a delay of a franchise of a dynasty. If he goes,
Okay.
if he just keeps getting seniors. However, I will say this: let's say Mestamaker leaves North Texas.
He's a redshirt junior.
No, Mestamaker from North Texas.
I think he's a redshirt junior. He's old. Because I was going to say Joseph, but he's old too. So I think Mestamaker's redshirt junior.
Mestamaker is a true freshman.
Ain't no way he's a true freshman.
Drew Mestamaker on the CBS Sports website. Birthplace, Austin, Texas. Class, freshman.
Okay.
Let's say he gets true freshman, Drew Mestamaker. That's a dynasty. If he starts somebody that's a freshman, puts the belief in him for 4 years or for 3 years, because he's going to be a sophomore by the time he gets there because he started for North Texas this year. But let's say he gets a sophomore in there that knows what the fuck he's doing. That's a dynasty. That's not going to
That's the same thing with, well, like you said, the Michigan issue right now. We don't know who the hell is going to be their coach right now. Bryce Underwood. Yeah. Bryce Underwood potentially could enter the portal.
Yeah.
And you get a guy like Kirk Cignetti to work the kinks that Bryce Underwood has this year with this Michigan offense. Oh, my God. Bryce Underwood could be the next Indiana great quarterback.
I don't think he's leaving Michigan. I think the NIL is good there. That's the other thing is NIL is going to be a huge part of it. And Mestamaker's probably going to go to a program that can pay him a lot. But if he can go and he can get somebody that just wants to play football, that's going to be a big thing. And here's the other thing that I just want to bring up. Kirk Cignetti is doing what we all thought Deion was supposed to be doing at Colorado right now. Deion did it all wrong. Now I will say Sanders and Hunter, great players for Deion. His Shiloh was trash. I'm sorry.
Can't forget about fuck his name, Holton for the Seahawks.
Corey Holt.
Yeah, for Seahawks.
No, he's on the Panthers.
No, the guy that's on the Seahawks. That's a receiver.
He didn't. He went to Colorado State.
Oh yeah, Come on.
We're talking about Jimmy Horn Jr.
Yeah.
That's the wide receiver from Colorado. But like he did it wrong. Like Kirk Cignetti got a staff in there that just does football. They don't give a fuck about all the extracurriculars. They just do football. And it's just been a clown show with Deion over there.
He just hired another clown of a hire as OC. Been an OC. Been with a team every year of his career, a different team every year.
Who?
I don't know who. It's some black dude. I think his name's like Jackson or something. He's been with a team every year of his career. So he was with a team last year. He was with a new team the year before, new team the year before that, new team the year before that.
Corey Phillips, the GM of Memphis. Oh, okay, that's GM stuff. Hang on.
I saw it. They hired this new OC. Some black guy. I never heard of him.
He looks like Herb Jones.
Because I was so confused because I was like, who is this? What are you doing, Deion?
Brennan Marion.
Yeah, Brendan Marion. I think he used to play in the league for a little bit.
He was the head coach of the Sacramento State Hornets.
Yeah, but look at where he was the year before.
Hang on. He was a wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins for 1 year.
Then the year before that.
Dude, okay. 11, he was at West Valley High School as a wide receivers coach. Then he was wide receiver coach at Harker School in California. Then St. Patrick Vincent in California. The year after that, Waynesboro. Then 2015, he was the offensive coordinator, offensive OQC, whatever the fuck that means, at Arizona State. Then he got fired from there and had to go to Oklahoma Baptist, who's a Division II team. Then he was at Howard as the OC quarterbacks coach. Then William and Marion 2019. Hawaii's wide receivers coach 2020. 2021, Pittsburgh's wide receivers coach. Then he went to Texas as the play call coordinator and wide receivers coach. Then for 2 years, he was at UNLV as their OC/quarterbacks coach. Then he was at Sacramento State as their head coach. And now he's at Colorado as their OC quarterbacks coach.
See, but you see what I mean? He's been with different programs.
5 coaching record. Trash. No, he might be okay. He was a head coach. So, hey, and he took Sacramento State to a bowl game.
I will say this. Hold on. Breaking news. NFL. The Colts have just moved Phillip Rivers up from the practice squad and expect him to start.
You sure?
In Sunday's game.
Riley Leonard was off the injury report.
It literally just popped up. Schefter just in Phillip Rivers to the active roster, preparing for him to start Sunday at Seattle Seahawks. Adam Schefter. Look.
I pulled it up. I see it. So Phillip Rivers, for context, and I know you know about this, but you know me, old head Hall of Fame guy. He has just now delayed for 5 more years him getting into the Hall of Fame. He was a semifinalist this year. Crazy.
Well, you know, he is what, I think 8 or 9 touchdowns away from Aaron Rodgers.
The problem is Aaron Rodgers is 8 or 9 touchdowns ahead of him and can go into this week and go up 10. Yeah. You know, Rivers could be pretty bad. However, Ryan Clark, I am convinced that dude has a squirrel in his brain that like has a hamster wheel and he just all day. He wanted to be the quarterback. That's why Ryan Clark wants to be the quarterback for the Colts. That's the only reason.
Too bad. No, he wanted Cam Newton. No one wants to see Cam Newton no more.
No, and Cam Newton same way. Which, dude, sometimes Cam Newton's talking and I'm like, that's Brady, man. That's just Brady. He'll like look at the camera and I'm like, that's a look Brady would give me before he puts the most atrocious take on TV. Like,
even though I really haven't had a bad take.
Not in a hot minute. However, one thing I will say is, why? Like, I was wondering why Rivers was the quarterback option they chose.
He wasn't.
Why they didn't go somewhere else.
He wasn't.
Well, think about this. You're in the middle of a season where you're trying to hold on to what you have. Shane Steichen needs somebody to come in who knows the fucking playbook, who knows how to play football, and who's been on the team before and who knows what the fuck they're doing. He tried to go get Sam Ehlinger, and Ehlinger's like, no, thank you. What other quarterback who's not under multi-year contract in the NFL has played for the Indianapolis Colts since Shane Steichen took over? No one. Jacoby Brissett on a roster. Brian Hoyer, dead. Just in the ditch somewhere, probably. Anthony Richardson's on IR. Like,
he'll be back next week.
Riley Leonard is hurt. Daniel Jones out for the season. Like, Gardner Minshew's under contract. Joe Flacco's under contract. Like, you can't go get another quarterback.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, I think he's with Brian Hoyer in said ditch. Like, there's not another quarterback that you can bring back. Carson Wentz under contract and hurt. Like, there's nobody you can bring back that knows the playbook other than Phillip Rivers and Nick Foles and a bunch of retired guys. And so they just went with the one who had the most success there. Like,
and that's Phillip Rivers. And I would have went with the Hall of Famer as well, because I mean, you look at it, Phillip Rivers. He was in my opinion, I people might not agree. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer to me.
He is
because of where he set himself in the era that he was in with those quarterbacks. He put himself up there with the top.
Anybody that has more passing yards than Dan Marino is an automatic Hall of Famer.
Automatic first ballot.
Because if Dan Marino was the greatest thing since freshly cut grass to step onto the field, like. Dan Marino, people talk like about him like he was Jesus.
Because it was like, I remember people when Phillip Rivers was playing, they were like, oh, Phillip Rivers is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer, but Ben Roethlisberger is not. And then I look at people like, yes. Rivers don't have the ring, but I will give you the credit. He is the first. But if you're going to say he's the first ballot, Big Ben's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
But again, with Dan Marino, if you have more passing yards than Dan Marino and you haven't won a Super Bowl, you're a Hall of Famer. Joe Flacco has more passing yards than Dan Marino.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He got a ring, though.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it has to be first ballot. But what I'm saying is Hall of Fame career. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, has more passing yards than Dan Marino. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Novus, Bubba. What
But
is wrong?
they should have put him in the Pro Bowl so he could get that fucking Hall of Fame fucking.
Well, honestly, I think they've changed it now where you can make the Hall of Fame without that.
Because he deserves he the best journeyman of all time.
He is.
The best
Well, I don't
journeyman.
know. Jeff Garcia's up there.
All right. Back to the college world.
Let me double check. Dan Marino. Oh, I'm sorry. Flacco does not have as many as Marino. My bad. He's under 20,000 less.
But he has a ring though, so I mean,
he does.
and a Super Bowl MVP.
However, I will say this, man. Dan Fouts made the fucking Hall of Fame. Joe Montana made the Hall of Fame. Now I know Montana has the rings, but
Montana has what?
Jim Kelly never won a fucking Super Bowl. He never won a Super Bowl. He's in the Hall of Fame. And you know who has more passing? You know who has more passing yards? The goddamn Jim Kelly.
Who?
Andy Dalton. All I'm saying. Patrick Mahomes actually is 32nd all time in passing yards. By the way.
And he still got a ways to go too.
And you know what? Kurt Warner made the fucking Hall of Fame. Cam Newton has more passing yards than Kurt Warner did.
It don't matter. Kurt Warner got a damn Super Bowl though.
And he also has MVP. But you know what Cam has? MVP.
Cam Newton has an MVP as well. He's gonna make the Hall of Fame because he changed the game.
Talking about MVPs, the Defensive Back Award in college football went to somebody. Honestly, man, I'm just gonna say this. I think it's a little overhyped.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs, a little overhyped.
I honestly thought it should have went to what's his name from
Mansour Delane. End of conversation.
It should have went to him, but I also thought it should have went to the Arizona State guy.
He wasn't even up for it, man.
It should have went to him though, because he was
Leonard
down.
Moore, Caleb Downs, and Mansour Delane.
He was downright the best man coverage corner that I've seen in the last 5 years in college football. He didn't allow a single target to one of the top receivers in the Big 12. So it's like, if you could do that, you deserve to be in that award. But not to even get named in that award is absolutely crazy.
And then, there were some that are just trash, like the Disney Spirit Award. Jeremiah Love won that. Academic Heisman Award went to Eli Stowers. Community Service Award went to Michael Taft from Texas, which Taft is actually a good football player. Don't get me wrong about that. But then this is where they got it right, man. The 2 Defensive Player of the Year's awards for the Bronco Nagurski and the Bednarik Award both went to Jacob Rodriguez.
Also, the Lombardi Award went to Jacob Rodriguez as well.
Yep, Lombardi went to him. He deserves all of that. Butt-Kiss Award went there.
Yeah.
Just deserves it. I think he's draft eligible this year. I think he's going probably day 2, but early day 2.
I honestly think that when he goes to the combine, or he goes to his pro day, he's gonna prove to everybody that he's a first-round pick. I think he's a first-round talent.
Now, your nickname might have to change to Rodriguez instead, boy.
No, he's still Patrick Willis because he's built like Patrick Willis.
You are built like Patrick Willis. He got a bath this morning, man. He hates me. Now, listen, you got to get his ass in the tub, and he weighs almost 200 pounds. Like, this man was not moving. He was picking up that weight, and then he couldn't figure out how to get out of the bathtub. That was the best part, because he doesn't want to slip. So that took a lot of convincing. But you know who else doesn't want to slip? Eli Stowers, any further in this draft than he already is. I mean, we didn't – in our mock draft we just did, like last time we were on, we didn't even have Stowers drafted.
Nope.
We had 1 tight end. And that's not going to happen in real life, but he definitely didn't have as good of a season as I thought he was going to.
Well, when we redo our mock draft, Eli Stowers definitely.
Also, he has to do more. He has to do something special. Like, I need to see something special out of him.
I haven't seen anything really, that great from him. That's why I'm like, do we need to draft him? Yeah, but I mean, he just proved to everybody he just won the Mackey Award. So
yeah, hey, we know something about the Mackey Award, don't we?
I do, at least.
freaking college.
Nah.
Listen, if you ever
Am I 9 or 11? I think I'm an 11-time winner of the Mackey.
if you ever want to be humbled, play Brady in NCAA. I mean, 11-time Mackey Award winning tight ends, like just consistently.
Yeah.
12-time national champion. Beat me twice in the Natty. I'm
also
Someone get mad.
I have 5 Heisman Trophy winners. I have multiple 3-time back-to-back winners of the Mackey Award winner, by the way. So
Who
if y'all
won?
humble, y'all want to play me, come play me. But just know, I ain't ducking the smoke. Just let me get Ryan Puglisi at quarterback. Game over with.
Who won the Unitas Award?
Mendoza.
Okay.
No, that's the senior quarterback, right?
Yeah, senior. It was
Pavia.
Marcel Reed, Stockton, Pavia. Oh no,
Pavia.
Mendoza was in there.
Pavia won it though.
Haynes King should have, but that's just me.
That's just you.
I love me some Haynes King. Now I do want to mention this. 2 linemen took home the Outland Trophy, interior lineman. But why was Fanau listed in?
No. There was a center award and then the interior offensive lineman award.
Yeah, but on here it says the Outland awards the best interior lineman, and it was Spencer Fanau, Logan Jones, and Caden McDonald. Excuse me? Who's smoking over here? What?
Oh, well, yep. They just made it official. Philip Rivers to start against the Seattle Seahawks. They just made it officially official.
But we had Logan Jones took home the Remington, which is for the best center in college football. I'm telling you, man, death taxes Iowa centers. What did I say, man? He's great.
You did say Iowa.
He might be the number 1 center in the draft this year.
He is going to be the number 1 center in the draft. No question.
Actually, people are out here just saying some weird crap about, this left tackle, like the Duke kid, can I think it's the same conversation with Duke. It's, he's a really good left tackle, but we could put him at center. They're playing a left tackle. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, no. I mean, I do see why, because what's his name? Barton.
Barton's been good.
Barton was at Duke, and he did play tackle his freshman year. His sophomore year, he was at guard, and then his junior, I think he was a 4-year player. Might have been a 4-year player. His
senior year he was center, and then senior year he's back at left tackle.
He was a guard.
No, he played left tackle his final year.
Yeah. He was center. He was center his junior, and he was at right tackle his senior year.
This guy, he can play left tackle, but let's put him at the position where he snaps the ball and he has 2 guys next to him to help block. Like, as much as left tackle and right tackle are the 2 hardest positions to play in football, in NFL football at least. I mean, you have to have good players at left, which one of the things that never makes sense to me is why they try out some of the most atrocious human beings to play left tackle when guys get them. You're telling me Asim Richards needs to be out there playing left tackle for the Saints when
Terrence Steele?
Terrence Steele just got a bag too for no reason. You're telling me your left tackle goes down with a major injury, and you have a Hall of Fame right guard, and you go, let's get a backup from the practice squad, please. What? Put that guy at tackle. I don't care if he sucks. That is, his floor is better at left tackle than the ceiling of any of these guys.
This is what I like about when they go get backup guys that can do both. Like with the Steelers, for example, Spencer Anderson. I love him at guard. I love him at swing guard. But if he needs to go out there and play tackle, say if Pete goes down, he can go play tackle.
Well, and Pete, it was the same thing.
Yeah, but Pete's a guard for us, but he's playing tackle right now.
So Pete was the starting. Hang on, let me get this right. It was Teron Armstead, Larry Warford. Center was Max Unger. Right guard was Andreas Pete. Right tackle was Ryan Ramczyk for 1 year, and then Warford retired, and Pete, I think, kicked to left guard for Ruiz. Regardless of all of that, and we got McCoy. But Pete was our starting right guard, starting left guard. Last year, or maybe it was year before last, when Teron Armstead fucked off and Pete and Penning sucked major donkey balls, Andreas Pete was our starting left tackle. And then we had some random, I think it was Landon Young at left guard. So apparently Pete was drafted as a tackle prospect, and then we just put him out there at guard because we needed to start him. And he stayed there. He just lurked on our O-line every year. So I'm happy that he's getting another opportunity. But he was one of those guys that could flip around and play different places when they needed him to. But I'll tell you, the greatest man I've ever seen come in and spot start for the Saints and for the NFL, Senio Clemente.
Yep.
That man should have been paid more than starting O lineman just to be our backup. That's what we should.
That's like, on guys that can play both. To that point, Xavier Su'a-Filo, he started in the league as a tackle. Then he moved to guard for the Dallas Cowboys for a while, and he can still play both, even though he's retired now. But but he could still play both. If I just don't get why teams, when they have a guy like with the Steelers, they have Andres Pete. He was playing guard for us. He's a backup guard. Now he's playing left tackle because Broderick Jones is out, and he's doing a hell of a job right now at left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
wow. Give him a little bit of a bag to stay.
Give him some money to stay. If he's playing this good at left tackle at 32 years old, give him a little bit of a bag and give it another year. If it don't work after this year, you got Broderick Jones, who's been, I wouldn't say he's been good this year. He's been better than he was the year before, though. So I'll take that. And what a way to learn from a guy like Andres Pete. And especially, like I said, if Andres Pete goes down, it's going to be Spencer Anderson at tackle. And I love me some Spencer Anderson, even though I think he don't need to play tackle.
And maybe he's not the best, but
that's not what
we're talking about. We're not talking about him as a starter.
We're talking about him just filling in for like maybe 1 or 2 games. Can he do it? Yes, I think he can do it for 1 or 2 games.
Listen, what I'm saying is you're not going to find a franchise guy, but if you can find at least 2 guys where, hey, we've got an injury. This is first guy. This is 1A and 1B. And right now they've got that with Pete and Anderson, 1A, 1B of and Broderick Jones shouldn't be starting anyway. He's trash. But Broderick Jones is down. We need somebody to pinch in at left tackle. Throw Pete out there. Somalia went down. Anderson, go trot out there at left guard. And then if something happens, hey, Pete, we now need you to go to left guard because Broderick's back. Anderson goes back to the bench and then comes back out for something else. And that's just the way that every team needs to do it instead of these positions of, this guy's our right tackle and this is our backup right tackle.
And look, it's great because Spencer Anderson really doesn't have a position because he came in as league as left tackle. He's been playing left guard. He played center for a game for like 1 snap.
Center is the only position where I would go, I would like to have somebody as a backup center.
I know, but he just played it for 1 snap just to see what it could do. Because then Zach Frazier came back, but it was hilarious because I go out there and I'm like, why isn't Ryan McCullum not coming in at center? They said he hurt his hand on the sideline trying to snap to Mason Rudolph, and so they said Spencer Anderson just go out there and play center for a snap. This man at 6'6" goes on, or 6'5", not 6'6", my fault, 6'5". He goes under there and snaps the ball perfectly to Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this man can play anywhere. This man can play anywhere on the O-line. But either way, what the point Bennett was saying, left tackle, I think you need a couple of guys that can just swing around on the O-line, like. For example, Spencer Anderson, he plays swing guard, swing tackle. Andres Pete can play guard, can play tackle. I'm trying to think of another guy that can play guard and play tackle. Reisner could possibly play tackle if you really wanted him to.
I think of him more as just a swing guard at this point in his career. Matt Gonzalez has made himself into a good swing tackle guard.
Van Roden used to play tackle, so he can play because he plays guard now.
Jermaine Illuminor. He started at guard for a couple.
He can play both too as well. So,
but we're getting off track again because we like to ramble. Let's go to who we think. So, other than that, Kirk Signetti, obviously, won Coach of the Year. as
Well
it should.
deserved. Well deserved.
Fanau won the interior lineman award, which is just weird, but whatever.
Even though he plays tackle, which makes no sense to me.
The Bolitnikoff award I did want to touch on went to Mekhi Lemon, Little Citrus. Man, Skylar Bell had a better season. He's hurt. Skylar Bell did just go down with an injury. He's going to be – I think he tore his ACL or Achilles, one of the two. I know those are completely different parts of your body. Well, not different parts of your body, but different muscles. But he tore one of the two. He's going to be out for a hot minute with that. So he'll still be draft eligible, and he'll probably come back right as training camp starting. But it sucks for him. But who do you think's going to win Heisman?
You know my pick. As I said, the pick that I really want to be the Heisman is Jeremiah Love, just because I'm tired of seeing quarterbacks win the award. But we already know who's going to win it. It's going to be the guy who took down, the projected winner at the time, Julian Sayin, in the Big Ten championship game, and he's been the most consistent quarterback, I think, this year. It might not show stats-wise, but with what he does on the field, just being the player he is, it's been consistent for him, and I think it's going to go to Fernando Mendoza today.
I think it should too.
Or tonight. My fault. Tonight. It's going to go to Fernando Mendoza tonight.
It should just be a nice wrap-up on the season as a whole.
A nice wrap-up would be if they win the Natty too. He wins the Heisman.
Fernando in 1 year wins Player of the Year, Heisman, and a Natty. And goes number one overall. Like, we're in for a treat. But moving on, do we want to move on to the?
Yeah, let's go. Oh, no, I want your thoughts. Who do you want to win the Heisman? But then who is your winner?
Mendoza, man. I want Fernando. I wanted Haynes King. I wanted Diego Pavia, but
that's what I was going to say. You're a Diego Pavia guy, so you probably would have won.
I am. Well, and I don't know if Pavia's going to get drafted this year, right? Like, he's going to, because if Graham Mertz can get drafted, so can he. Like,
but Pavia is better than Graham Mertz,
though.
A whole lot better than Graham Mertz.
I'm like, if Devin Leary can get drafted, so can Diego Pavia. Yeah. People are talking about, he's not a. And the same thing with Haynes King. Both of them were Heisman Heisman in the race. Like, you can't. The conversation with both of these guys is that they're too small to play in the NFL. They don't have the arm strength, but they've been playing college ball for 4 fucking years.
Haynes King, 5.
Both of them 5, right?
Well,
Pavia another.
Pavia for 6.
Yeah, because he played at FCS.
Yeah.
So, but they've been playing for a long time, and you got to think, okay, they know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes.
Because they're successful at their programs. Haynes King got Georgia Tech, like, winning big football games.
A&M too. You can't forget about Texas A&M.
Yeah, we can't.
He was still winning football games. He beat Alabama. He beat a good Alabama team.
We can forget about A&M. A&M is like Bo Nix's Auburn. We can just forget that.
Even though Bo Nix was better at Auburn than he was at Oregon.
Pavia with New Mexico State, with Vanderbilt. He's gotten Vanderbilt looking so good, they got the number 2 quarterback in the entire country.
Yeah. And Jared Curtis is the quarterback that flipped his commitment from Georgia
to flip from Bama. Like, they got
Georgia.
A future now. And so he's setting Vanderbilt up for something great. But yeah, Pavia is going to get drafted. I envision him as a spot starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he's going to Haynes King, and probably, like, there's a couple other quarterbacks that have just been floating around that are going to be draft eligible this year. There's going to be probably, I think, 4 quarterbacks were in 8 years. Let's go with 8 years. We're looking at him like, okay, he's still on a roster.
I think we're seeing these guys, like you're saying, they're going to be like the journeyman QB.
A new elite era of journeymen, and
the new elite era of journeymen that could potentially, like I look at Jacoby Brissett should be a starting quarterback in this league. I've been saying this
but
I know, but I've been saying this for the last 4 years. This man should be a starting quarterback in the NFL because he is really good. and he knows what he's doing, and he does, and it's showing it right now. He's balling out with the Arizona Cardinals right now.
Yep. The issue that we're running into is a lot of these older quarterbacks are realizing how cushy this job is, and they're just staying. Like in any other case, Josh Dobbs is probably retired by now and doing work with NASA. In any other case, other than being on the Cardinals this year, Jacoby Brissett probably would have found a home on a practice squad, but he probably would have retired because you're not staying on a practice squad. You want to be on a roster if you're him. So we're
Jacoby Brissett's good enough to be one of the 32 starting. Like if I'm the Jets, I'm trading for Jacoby Brissett. If just to be a backup for Fernando Mendoza.
I had left my coffee maker on the entire day today. And it's not one of those fancy ones that turns off after it brews. It just sits there and keeps on heating up.
Oh, wow.
It just burned the hell
dangerous.
out.
That's dangerous.
It is. I just turned it off, so we're good. But I heard it click, and I'm like, oh. But, it's going to be hard to kick some of these guys out of the league. But if Dresser Wynn can make an active roster, if
Pavia and Haynes King
can Ripien is hanging around, like these aren't guys who were bad quarterbacks in the league in college. These were not guys who were FCS guys in college. Like they didn't. Personally, I would never touch a North Dakota State kid and draft him. Never, ever.
Honestly, I think Cam Miller's not that bad though for the Raiders.
Don't give a fuck, because here's the thing. Other than Carson Wentz's limited success, there has not been a single North Dakota State kid that has been any good. Nope. And it's because they do not play anyone real. They play one game a year where they might go and play Auburn or some shit.
This is why I would want them to move to the FBS to show that they could actually do it.
Because their stadium's not big enough.
So there's a lot of teams that stadium ain't big enough.
That's one of the requirements is your stadium has to be such and such. But if they could go to the Pac-12, and they could be pretty good in Pac-12, and it would put notoriety on North Dakota State. Yeah. But regardless of all of that, because Trey Lance still has a job, and that's just frustrating. Pavia, Haynes King. I would love if Pavia won the Heisman, but because that would just be good for Vanderbilt football too.
Your other favorite guy, Connor Wegman, could also be a journeyman QB as well.
No, because he's going to be a superstar. He's going to be a superstar. That's the difference. Is Wegman has that dog in him, and Maivia, if he doesn't go back and he comes out this year, that's my quarterback 4. So I mean,
what if Arch goes this year? Is he quarterback 1?
Yeah, he's quarterback 1. We've had that conversation. We're not having it again. Yep. But to finish my point, Mendoza deserves to win it, and it's great. And he's talking about if I do win it, the Heisman's staying in Bloomington.
That's the greatest thing that you could say as a finalist Heisman.
They're gonna put a statue of this man out in front. If they win
because who
Hudson Yeti and him are getting a statue.
Because who says that I'm going to? Because like when you win the Heisman, you're gonna be selfish and be like, look, this is mine. I won this award. This is my award. This man, Fernando Mendoza, goes. I think I'm just gonna give it to the city of Bloomington, Indiana, so that they can relish.
Put it in our
relish on us finally having a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm like, you got to give that man a statue right now. Start building. Start building it. Right?
Like let's set up instead of retiring college football numbers, because you have 100 kids that play for you every year. Like you need these numbers. Instead of retiring number 15, have a scholarship with number 15 and have something where, hey, this number goes to a kid that hits these marks and this, that, and the other, and have that number mean something.
Yeah.
Or give it to his younger brother and let his younger brother wear it. That'd be pretty good.
Yep.
But going into the college football playoffs now.
Yeah.
Our number one matchup that we have that I want to talk about first. Marcel Reed, Carson Beck.
Ooh.
Texas A&M versus Miami.
Carson Beck back playing SEC play.
Beating out Notre Dame to make it to the college football playoffs. Texas A&M deservingly in the college football playoffs after a hell of a year that they've had. You good?
I'm reading what the comment says.
What comment?
It says, this was randomly suggested to me. No idea who y'all are, but commenting and liking for. Okay, cool.
Random video. This isn't.
This isn't a random video. All right, go continue what you're saying.
Yeah, we're getting Miami versus Texas A&M. This is going to be a huge game. Carson Beck could cement his status as a top 5 QB in this draft, top 6 QB in this draft, maybe. If he does well, Marcel Reed looking to try to get into the top 10 conversation of quarterbacks because he has to go as well. And I do like Marcel Reed's play style. I know sometimes he's frustrating, but him and Beck, I mean, this could be 500 yards, 500 yards, you know?
It could be. To piggyback off of you, I think this is going to be probably the best match. Well, maybe. This is going to be the second best first round matchup, in my opinion, of the week. I think I've got to see more from Carson Beck. You know me, I'm not a huge Carson Beck fan. He got too many turnover problems, too many issues. He chokes when the moments matter most. He chokes. If he can play football like the way I seen him play opening the year against Notre Dame, if he can play football like that, this game is going to be absolutely incredible because Marcel Reed and them are pissed off after Texas beat them. So they still got that taste in their mouth like, oh, we were a top 4 seed, now we got beat. Now Marcel Reed, Kevin Concepcion, what's the other guy's name? The big receiver. Can't think of his name. It's like Trotter, something like that. It's not Josiah Trader because he plays for Alabama, but it's something with a T, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Or Craver, Mario Craver. That's what I'm thinking of. Mario Craver. There we go.
Yeah, number 1.
Mario Craver.
He's
Mario
only 5'9". He's my height.
He plays like a big receiver. That's why I said Mario Craver. He plays like a big guy. He does play like a big guy. But
No, good for him.
Either way, like I said, Bennett brought up a good point. This is going to be a great game, and I think this could be 500 yards, 4 touchdowns for Marcel Reed, 500 yards, 5 touchdowns for Carson Beck. I think it's going to come down to which defense is going to show up. Is it going to be Miami's defense that shows up once in a blue moon, or is it going to be Texas A&M defense who's been good all year? Are they going to finally have another bad game as they did against Texas, or are they going to step up? To me, I have my winner. I'm going to eke it out to Texas A&M. Not only because I hate Carson Beck, but it's just I think that offensive firepower with Craver, Concepcion, and Marcel Reed's going to be a little too much for that Miami defense, and I don't know how they're going to handle this speed. They haven't dealt with this much speed since like week 3 or week 4 when they played Florida State Thomas Castellanos. So they haven't dealt with this much speed, and they struggled with that speed. I mean, they could contain him because he's more of a pocket passer, but this is a true dual threat quarterback you're going to have to go against here, and I think that they're going to struggle with Marcel Reed. So I'm going to go Texas A&M with the win here over Miami.
I'm going Miami. I think Miami is going to be hot, and they're going to come out swinging. Cassius Howell is going to be a problem. That dude.
But Ruben Bain's going to be a problem on the other side.
Ruben Bain's going to be a problem too. Miami, Mowing Noah versus Howell is going to be a very interesting matchup if they get matched up.
I think they play on opposite sides, though.
Maybe. Miami has experience. Carson Beck, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in college football right now, other than Tyler Van Dyke. This is the guy you want at the helm in a situation like this, where you're going to Texas A&M Stadium to fight. So give me Miami. Upset win, the first one. Miami over Texas A&M to face Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Mm-hmm. Next game is number 11 Tulane going to number 6 Oklahoma. Now,
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, my bad. Oklahoma's playing Alabama. That's right. Ole Miss. Now, Trinidad Shambles. Ha ha ha. No, this is going to be probably a massacre.
Yes, I agree. Because the last time they played, Ole Miss beat the absolute dog shit out of Tulane.
Yeah.
But this game, I think, honestly, I don't know how. I want to see how this new coach, is going to do with these play calling duties
He
for
still
Ole Miss.
has his OC. Still
I
has
know,
his
but I
OC
still
calling
I
who's
still want
going
to see.
with him.
I still want to see because now he's got to do defense and he's got to do all, and he's got to be the head coach. So I want to see if he can handle both duties and still manage to stop this Tulane offense with Ratzlaff at quarterback.
Jake
So,
Retzlaff, yeah. Which Retzlaff, I think, is probably going to transfer after this year from Tulane to a big school.
Yeah.
I think he's got one more year of eligibility or something like that.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, he's going to transfer to a bigger school because
Auburn?
Tulane is not his first choice. Maybe Auburn. We'll see.
Florida?
See. January.
Florida?
In January. Florida, they got Lagway.
but he could still sit behind him.
He ain't going to sit. He's going somewhere to start. And
Or
if
I don't
Florida
think Auburn
State-
because I think
if
Byron
Florida
Brown's going to
State
Auburn.
loses Castellanos because he doesn't get his eligibility,
Yeah.
he could go to Florida State or he could go to Miami. That'd be interesting.
Miami.
That's off Miami. I mean, like it's going to be a good game. Well, no, I'm sorry. It's going to be a good game if you're an Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah. Trinidad, you're going to see this from Trinidad Chambliss right here.
Here's the crazy part. We get to see Ole Miss versus Georgia, which Ole Miss beat Georgia earlier this year. If I'm not mistaken.
They did.
This could be
They
pretty.
did. They beat it. They beat them by 14 points too. So it was an absolute showdown, and I think that they play in the Sugar Bowl as well. So
And they would be playing Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, which is a home game for Georgia. Which I mean, but also Georgia and Ole Miss.
is that a home game for Georgia?
Yeah, Sugar Bowl's in Atlanta, right?
No, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is the home game for them.
Oh, whoops. Sugar Bowl's in Dallas, isn't it?
Yes, Sugar Bowl's in Dallas. I was going to say
Peach Bowl.
the Peach
I
Bowl.
forgot that was even one that's in there. How is the Fiesta Bowl this big?
The Rose Bowl?
No, the Fiesta Bowl is Fiesta and Peach Bowl are the last two for the Natty.
Oh, because it's in Arizona.
But still, the Fiesta Bowl was not that big a couple
It's
years
not. Yeah, I would have put the.
Well, they rotate. So
Honestly, I would have put the Rose Bowl for the.
One year it will be the Rose Bowl, and Rose Bowl and the Sugar
Because
Bowl.
playing in the Rose Bowl is so iconic. Playing in that bowl.
Going to as far north as we can possibly go, the Oregon Ducks in their multicolored madness get to face the best team in college football. No, Alonzo Barrett and James Madison. Nobis, stop licking, you nasty. Oh, thank you. Gross, man. Play James Madison, Sunbelt School. We prayed for times like this. I mean, truly prayed for times like this. James Madison deservingly made it. They're going to get absolutely fucked by Oregon. This game could be 99-0, and I would not be surprised. But it is so cool to see them in it.
Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with my chest high and, everything. I'm going to say this. What I've seen from Oregon this year has been up and down. Dante Moore has been up and down this year. Going to be in the draft. He's leaving Oregon, going to the draft. He's already said that he probably potentially is. So I think he is. I look at this James Madison team. They've been good almost all year. Besides that one game that they've lost. And
that was against Louisville.
And it was against they shouldn't have lost that game though against Louisville. They choked it in the fourth quarter when they gave up that big long touchdown catch to Bell, the wide receiver who's going to be probably projected first round pick this year for the Louisville Cardinals. Maybe early second.
I don't love it, but
early second, late first, early second round pick. Bell, wide receiver. Oregon in the beginning of the year, I think they played some team that wasn't good and they struggled in that game in the first half. You might have to fact check me on that. I'm not positive, but I know
they did.
Or was it the year before when they played Idaho and they struggled against Idaho?
Let's see. They had Yeah, no, dude. They've only team they struggled against was Penn State.
Iowa.
Them 30 to 20.
Iowa.
Iowa was 18 to 16. That was a struggle too. But other than the loss to Indiana, 59 to 13 over Montana State, 69 to 3 over Oklahoma State, 34-14 over Northwestern, 41 to 7 Oregon State, Rutgers 56 to 10. And then the rest of them, I mean, USC, they beat the crap out of. Minnesota, they beat the crap out of. Like, they've, other than it lost to Indiana and then Penn State, who they went to 2 overtimes against, and also,
Well, Penn State's a mediocre team, so I'm not going to say that. But
yeah.
Iowa wasn't supposed to be as good this year, and they struggle with Iowa. I think that James Madison, they're going to come in. They're going to play good in the first. I think we're not going to see really Oregon take over until midway through the third quarter. It's going to be this game where you think it's supposed to be a blowout early. I think it's going to be a really good game to start it off, and then Oregon's going to take away. I agree. Oregon's going to blow this game away.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 41 to like 15, but it's going to be like a 15 to like maybe 7-6 game, and then Oregon's going to take over. But that's how I think it's going to go, because Oregon has started off slow in every single game that they've been close in. Like Iowa, they should have lost that game. They should have lost against Iowa. They should have lost against Penn State. But they didn't, because Dante Moore and that offense comes through and saves the day. I will say I was going to go with the upset pick here, but I'm not. I'm going to stay with Oregon. I think Oregon's going to blow the absolute – Oregon's going to blow the absolute brakes off of them. And I have Oregon playing a red-hot Texas Tech Red Raiders in the Capital Orange Bowl.
Capital One Orange Bowl, yeah. That should be a pretty good game. I have Oregon as well. Our final game of the first round of the playoffs is the closest one that we have against my number 2 quarterback in the class and your number, what, 2? 3? Who you got ahead of him? Mendoza and who?
Moore.
I don't have – okay. I have Ty Simpson at 2. And I have Mateer at
4 or 5.
See, the thing is I flip between Mavia from USC and Mateer.
I don't think he's going. I think Mavia is going to stay.
For now, I know, but like in my mind, that's where I have him is between is the flip flop between those.
I honestly
two.
think Mateer's going to stay too, just because of his injury.
And he's hurt, and it doesn't matter if he's hurt. He redshirted already. He's got to go.
He's got to go. I know.
So Mateer Simpson, this is going to be the best game probably of in the college football playoffs besides the championship. I mean, Bama's got the better receivers, but do they have the better quarterback? I love Simpson, by the way. I'll put that out there. But who do you take at their best, Mateer or Simpson? You know,
I'm going to piggyback. I'm going to let you finish what you're doing, but I'm going to piggyback. Mateer is officially fully back from his broken hand, so you're going to get the top-notch John Mateer. Plus, he's getting an extra week of rest because it's an Army-Navy game this week. And then next week they play. So he's going to have an extra rest and to get this good come back to what he normally – oh, yeah, Alabama union for a surprise, but Ben continue.
And, well, I mean, and one could say Bama doesn't even deserve to be here. And that this should be Miami versus Oklahoma and Notre Dame versus Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, yep.
But they're here. And I think they go into Oklahoma and Ty Simpson learns that Oklahoma is better. Give me Oklahoma.
I'm gonna go with Oklahoma too, and I just look at it at the last matchup. They didn't have their best defensive player in that game, and R. Mason Thomas, who I'm very high on in the draft, and R. Mason Thomas. They didn't have R. Mason Thomas in the last matchup, and the defense had 6 sacks without R. Mason Thomas in the game.
Caden Proctor's a fraud.
In the game that they played, Mateer didn't play very well. I get that because he still had that little thing on his hand, and it's hard for him to throw with that thing on his hand. And I get it. Now you got a fully healthy John Mateer ready to play like John Mateer used to play in the beginning of the year. and you get our Mason Thomas back, your best edge rusher, going against Caden Proctor, who struggled against the backup defensive end and the backup linebacker because their starting Will was out too, and Caden Proctor was getting beat by two backup guys. Alabama shouldn't be here. They don't deserve to be here. They lost. They lost to Oklahoma. They got beat. They got their belt to ass by Georgia in the SEC championship game. This spot should really be Miami right now, but give me Oklahoma by 6 here. I think it's going to be a close. It's going to be a real close game. Alabama, you can't count out that offense, especially with Ty Simpson at the helm.
Alabama's defense, man.
But Alabama's defense also with
John Mateer beat Tim Keenan
with Sab, Keenan,
Overton.
Overton up front. You can't and linebacker. Lawson, Deontay Lawson.
Yeah.
Deontay Lawson. You can't count those guys out yet. So it's going to be a good game. I think this is the best game in the first round of the playoffs, and I expect to see fireworks from Mateer. I expect to see some fireworks from Simpson in the offense, and I expect to see Oklahoma's defense come out on top.
Now, I have Miami versus Ohio State. You have Texas A&M, Ohio State?
Yep.
All right. Ohio State, we can have a conversation about all day long. They just have good football players. They've got the best defensive line you could want, like a dream. That Curry guy, who is he?
He's a freshman.
No way.
I think he's a freshman. He might be. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Right fucking
honestly don't know.
I'm looking it up. Also, Eli Brickhandler is a goated name for a quarterback.
Eli Brickhandler, yes.
Colton Stover. Is that Cade Stover's brother?
That's Cade Stover's brother, yeah.
It's not. That's just the same last name. He's wearing 26 at quarterback. Dude, have some shame.
Brickhandler?
No, Stover.
Oh.
Where's the defense? Caden Curry's a senior from Greenwood, Indiana. We have not been talking about this guy in the first round conversation. I mean, how big is he? He's 6'3", 260. He has 11 sacks this season, 1 forced fumble, and 60 tackles. I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me look this up real quick.
And we've been talking about Arvell Reese for freaking Ohio State and Caleb Downs, but they've also got Curry up front for them as well.
All right. Ruben Bain Jr. only has 7.5 sacks this season.
He's only projected first because what he did last year.
Less tackles.
But what he did last year is why he's going in where he's going.
Caden Curry last year was hurt most of the season. And also was behind Tuipulotu and Jack Sawyer.
And what's his name? Jackson, the guy in the middle, Tyleek Jackson.
Yeah. So Curry only had 2.5 sacks last year on that D line. I mean, like, he had 2 sacks against Indiana in the freaking Big Ten.
Yeah.
Caden Curry needs to be talked about as a first-round pick because he's playing like a first-round pick. Personally, I hated him against Indiana. Compared him to Adolf Hitler. It was bad. You will not find somebody who will advocate more for this guy now because he's a senior edge rusher for Ohio State who sat in the wings, had 11 sacks this season. If Shamar Stewart can get drafted in the first round, why the hell does Caden Curry not?
Yeah, I agree.
But that brings up the big thing here. I have Miami versus Ohio State. If we were talking about Cassius Howell giving fits to Miami, what do you think Curry's going to do? What do you think the rest of this D-line is going to do?
It'll be Curry against Maoga at
I don't know. They've also got Kenyatta Jackson, who's a senior.
But I think I think Maoga can handle Curry decently. I'm not gonna say that they're gonna.
Yeah. What happens when Curry? What happens when Curry lines up in front of Mauigoa and Arvell Reese lines up outside of Curry? What happens then?
You got to pick your poison.
It
Pick
now
your
has
poison.
to do with, is he going to come straight into my chest? Is Bane going to try to kick around me on that, or not Bane? Is Reese going to try to kick around me on the outside? My guard over here is not Francis Mauigoa. So what the heck is he going to do?
He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to step up.
Curry's on your left hand, and you got Arvell Reese on your right. And then you got Sonny Styles standing over there watching all of this because he doesn't have to worry about anything because he's going to get the interception anyway. I mean, Ohio State is going to absolutely feast on Miami. And I don't know about Texas A&M. You tell me. Ohio State or Texas A&M?
Now, with me and Texas A&M, I think Texas A&M has the little bit better defense than Ohio's. Than Michigan. Well, Miami. I think they have a little bit better defense. I would say only Miami will stay in the game if, like I said, if their defense shows up. Because if we get that Miami like we saw at the beginning of the year against Notre Dame, if we saw this is going to be a good game for you, I'm talking about for your prediction. It's going to be a good game against Ohio State. Because Ohio State hasn't played a good defense until they played Indiana.
Notre Dame week 1.
I'm talking about Ohio State.
Oh.
They haven't played a good defense since they played Indiana. And Indiana
kicked their ass.
Basically, the game was closer than what it was, but Indiana put belt to ass to Ohio State. They made them look all out of sorts. They were all out of sorts. So if Miami can play that way that they did against Notre Dame, I think Miami might have a chance to pull it out. But with Texas A&M defense, you don't have to. They've been playing good defense all year. And with Cassius Howell up front, I think he's going to cause problems. Because it's not just Cassius Howell. They got 2 interior guys that are massive. They're like 330 pounds. And they together, they're just like, and then they get down like this. They look at you. They stare in your soul. And you got to just pick one and pick your poison. Because you got Cassius Howell who's going to be rushing the quarterback. And then they've also got a couple of good defensive backs back there. They got a senior safety who's really good. And they've got I think a 5-star corner or a 4-star corner that came like 2 years ago. He's really good as well too. So I think my matchup with Texas A&M is going to be a little bit harder for Ohio State, but I do think Ohio State gets it done. I think Ohio State's defense comes through. Marcel Reed is going to have to figure out a way to play good against Ohio State. If he can play good against Ohio State, I think they win the game. But here I think Ohio State defense is going to have a historic day after that embarrassing loss to Indiana. And I think Curry, Jackson, Arvell Reese is going to play good. Sonny Styles is going to play good.
You got Igbenogsen's back there. You got
Downs is going to be playing his. So I'm going to go Ohio State, but I'm going to say it's going to be really, really close against Texas A&M. It's going to be by like maybe 4 or 5 in that game.
Now we're going to kick all the way up to another Texas team, Texas Tech, going up against Oregon. This is going to be a good game. This is going
to be. Oh my God, I'm going to love watching this game right here.
Let me see here. Texas Tech.
I hope I get to watch this game because I really want to watch this Capital One Orange Bowl. If this is the matchup I get in the Capital One Orange Bowl, I want to watch it.
Who's starting at quarterback? Is it Morton or is he?
It's Morton. It's Morton.
Who was the quarterback originally? Was it?
It's Morton. It's been Morton all year.
Morton all year. Who got hurt?
Morton got hurt for like one game, but
who came in? Will Hammond or?
Will Hammond.
Okay. Yeah, freshman. Yeah, Baron Morton is great. He's probably not going to get drafted, but he is the one thing about NIL. Morton came in. They bought a mercenary defense. Like they proved that with NIL you can be good, and they are. Texas Tech is great. They've got everything figured out. Oregon, Dante Moore, third quarterback in the draft class. Personally, I would not hate him on the Saints. I know I said that earlier in the year. I watched more of him. He's okay. Dante Moore, good quarterback. I don't think their receivers are as good as Texas Tech's defense. I don't think Oregon's O-line is as good as their defensive pass rush. I think Morton and Texas Tech are on a warpath to try to win as much as possible this year because they know that they're not going to – the mercenaries that they hired are all leaving for the draft. And they did not recruit very well.
They did not.
They are going to have to hit the portal again this year, which they will. And this is a good team for Mestemaker to go to if he leaves.
I would love to see Mestemaker go to Texas Tech, and because they're getting some of these guys back, not every single one of them, but they're getting some of their offensive guys back. I think it'll be best for them to get Drew Mestemaker here.
I mean, this could be a team that we could see Austin Simmons leave Ole Miss for. This is a team that we could see.
I still don't think they like black quarterbacks unless you're Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I mean, maybe just a good one hasn't hit them yet, you know? Like, they have a couple guys on there that are black that are at quarterback for them, but they just don't play because they're not very good. So, Texas Tech, mercenaries this year. I think they're going to beat Oregon. It's a bowl game, so it's neutral. So they're not playing in Oregon. They're playing at the Orange Bowl, which is in Miami, which is a long way from home. Give me Texas Tech as the favorite.
I think I'm going to agree with Benny here. I'm going to go Texas Tech as a favorite, and here's why. Like Bennett said, the O-line for Oregon I don't think it's that good. And then you've got to go against Bailey. You've got the two interior guys that remember I told you in the draft. They've got Jacob Rodriguez in the middle, the best linebacker in the country, the best defensive player, in my opinion, in the country. Then you have the two D tackles, or the one D tackle, and then you have the two edge rushers that are coming off the edge, all of those guys are going in the draft. And then you've got that corner that's going to the draft as well for them. And like you said, the receivers are not that good. The receivers are really a joke because if you look at it, I take it back to the Penn State game. Penn State, their corners are god awful, and they made the Oregon receivers look terrible. They made them look like the Penn State defensive backs were like gods. Same thing with Iowa. But Iowa always has a good defense, so I'm not going to discredit what they do at Iowa because they always have good corners. They always have good defense. So Iowa actually came to play. But with this Texas Tech team, like I said, Bailey, I forgot what the other edge name, the other edge guy's name is.
Hang on, I'm looking it up. You've got Romello Height,
Bailey,
David Bailey. You've got Skylar Gill Howard at D tackle, who's great.
Yeah, Gil Howard, and then you've got Lee, I think, is the corner.
Let's double check here. No Lee.
What's his last name? What's the corner?
Who the heck are you talking about?
What's the corner's last name? The starting corner.
I don't have their depth chart. I just have their roster. White guy?
No. Here.
What number is he? Can you picture the number?
I don't remember the number. All I know is he's.
Hang on. Stats will help. Bryce Pollock?
Hold on. I'm just going to look it up.
Pollock has the most interceptions. Oh, yeah, you got Rodriguez. Duh, what the fuck are we talking about?
He's not a corner, though.
I know he's not a corner, but god damn, they got Rodriguez. They're going to eat.
Does he even play? He might not even be the corner. No, he is. It's Pollock. It's Pollock.
Okay. I was going to say Pollock's the only guy. I mean, you have Winshinski, the safety, who has 6 pass deflections.
No, it's Pollock. Pollock has been really good. So, yeah, when you've got
Rodriguez, Rodriguez, Bailey,
Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle.
Pollock, Gil Howard. Like, that's 6 guys that are better than anybody on that O-line. Isaiah World's trash.
But yeah, Lee Hunter, David Bailey. I'll even say A.J. Holmes, the redshirt junior, is going to be phenomenal.
They're good.
He's been good up front too all year. So I mean, I'm not going to sleep on this defense. I think this defense is going to come to play against Oregon. Dante Moore is going to be in a lot of trouble. I do think that we might see Kenyon Sadiq pop off a little bit, but Jacob Rodriguez is going to deal with him.
Rodriguez is going to handle him. He's fine.
Yeah, Rodriguez is going to handle him all game. So I think this is going to be a great matchup, but I think the defense prevails for Texas Tech. Give me Texas Tech over Oregon here.
Now, going to our 6-3 matchup. Ole Miss, after beating Tulane, goes to play Georgia in Dallas. or in Arlington, but still. Georgia, Stockton, you've got, just the depth of their defense is insane. The fact that they're able to do this every year is crazy. I would love to sit in a fantasy world where I go, yeah, Ole Miss is going to BTA, belt to ass Georgia, or they're going to win. I will say this. I like Trinidad better than I like Stockton. I like the receivers for Ole Miss a little better than I like Georgia's. But Georgia's O-line, their running game, their defense, and just Kirby Smart, man. Kirby Smart, there's a reason why he's one of the best coaches in football. I'm going Georgia.
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to point this out. Their defense from where they last played Ole Miss to where it is now is 10 times better than they were. At the beginning of the year, this is a group of I think there's a couple of juniors and seniors on that defense for Georgia, but most of them are, I think, freshmen, sophomore, maybe even juniors that are this is their first start this year as a Georgia Bulldog. And you take that and you're like, oh, Georgia's team sucks. They haven't played with each other yet. All these guys haven't played. The guys that they've had in the past have played with each other because they've been there with each other for the longest. This group has not played with each other. And I was looking at Georgia people saying, oh, Georgia's this, Georgia that. Georgia's defense is great. And they proved that against Alabama because Alabama, and when they played them before, in the beginning of the year, Alabama beat them solely because the defense did not come to play because that defense was so young. Defense was so young. But either way, I'm going to have Georgia. I think Georgia is going to come in. Stockton's been playing well. I don't think the offense is going to play very well in this game, just specifically, because they struggled against Ole Miss. They beat Ole Miss, by the way. They didn't lose Ole Miss. Georgia's only loss is to Alabama.
Oh, okay. Last year they lost.
Last year, yes. Georgia's only loss is to Alabama. Okay. But yes, I think the offense struggles a little bit, but their defense has been absolutely phenomenal in the last 4 or 5 weeks of college football. And I think they come to show it here again. And they might be honestly, I hate saying this, but I think they might fuck around and win the whole thing if things go the right way. If Stockton can show up when it matters most, they might fuck around and win the whole thing.
So we're on to our final 4 teams. Texas. Besides one more, which I think there's not really a conversation. We know. Indiana goes to play Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. A, atmosphere of that game, crazy. B, Brady, you're going to die of excitement because you get your number 1 quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, versus your favorite quarterback, John Mateer.
Yes, I do. I think I'm going to have a blast. I really do want to watch this game. And if Mateer somehow beats Fernando Mendoza, I'm still going to be like, this man should have been the Heisman Trophy winner. He would have been if he never got hurt. John Mateer, to this moment right now, it would be him, Mendoza, Love, and Sayin probably as the 4 in the Heisman race, and Mateer would be winning the trophy right now, not Mendoza. I'm sorry, Mendoza. I love you, I do, but I think if Mateer wins this game, you will never hear the end of it from me. I will say Mateer this, Mateer that. I'm cheering for Mateer to go win the whole goddamn thing at that point, if he does. But I don't think they're going to. I think this offense for Indiana is absolutely extraordinary with Fernando Mendoza, Elijah Surratt, one of the great receivers that they have, and Omar Cooper, probably the catch of the year in the back of the end zone. I don't know how you can contort your body to, barely tap the end zone with both of your feet and still get in. And the running back duo is very nice as well. And the O-line, like Bennett said, underrated O-line. We don't talk about them a whole lot. I think the offense and the defense for Oklahoma, they're going to be really good, but I think Indiana offense prevails. Give me Indiana over Oklahoma. I hate saying that, but I do want Oklahoma to win this game just because of Mateer. I love Mateer, but Indiana's going to prevail in this game.
So we got the Final Four because I'm going with Indiana as well. We got the Final Four. Indiana versus Texas Tech, Ohio State versus Georgia. We're going to start with Indiana again. Indiana versus Texas Tech, man. Mercenaries versus homegrown talent. Kirk Signetti versus Jacob Rodriguez. Basically, it's going to be Mendoza, Rodriguez, the best defensive player versus the best quarterback in the country.
Yes, I agree, and I do want to see how this Indiana O-line holds up against who I think, honestly, player and talent wise, I think Texas Tech got the better, like overall, like a group of four.
They should.
A group of four over Ohio State. I'm not saying Ohio State has the talent; they're more talented, but the four up front for Texas Tech with what's his name? I can't think. Why do I keep missing? Height, Bailey, the guy I was talking about, Lee Hunter, the guy you talking about, the other one, DT, and then the other DT. The other DT that's really good. I think overall them as a 5, I want to see what they can do against the Indiana offense. I'm not going to tell you my winner yet until you finish, but I was just saying that point.
All I got to say is this, man. Mendoza's going to walk home with the Heisman tonight. And he's going to walk in to Georgia, and he's going to light up Texas Tech. Give me Indiana.
I'm going to agree with Benny. I'm going to go Indiana. I think he going to be holding this right here, have his hat on, get a cigar ready to go to the national championship, and he might also be holding one of these at the end of the year too, but we don't know. But I'm gonna go Indiana here.
The question
what a run by Texas Tech though. It was phenomenal running. They're doing something on the other side of the house.
I bet. So. Now, last game before the championship, Georgia versus Ohio State. These teams have played each other pretty much every single fucking year for something. You get Julian Sain versus Gunnar Stockton, the vet in air quotes versus the young kid. I mean, Jeremiah Smith versus
the best defense in football right now, technically, in the playoffs at least. At least in the playoffs, they're the best defense in the playoffs.
Who are you going with? Because I know who I'm going with, and it's pretty fucking easy.
This one's kind of tough for me, just based off of. It might be easy for you, but this one's tough for me just because. What Stockton am I going to get for Georgia? And then it's like, what defense is going to show up for Ohio State? Are you going to get the one that played against Indiana, against Georgia? Because you can't do that against Georgia. Because Georgia will make you pay. Unlike Indiana did. Indiana still in my opinion, put about the ass to Ohio State. But Georgia will actually put about the ass. And they'll put up 40 points if they really want to. But it just depends on Gunnar Stockton. But then I look at the Ohio State defense. When they're on. This is going to be probably like a 13-10, 16, 16-20, 21-16 game here. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be defensive battle. It's going to be tackles everywhere. Maybe a couple turnovers by both sides. I'm going to go Georgia. And solely off of what I've seen from them the last 5 weeks on defense, Kirby Smart, veteran when it comes to, defense. Ohio State's offense, I still need to see a little bit more. I know Carnell Tate, you got Jeremiah Smith, but the run game lacks in some games. I'm not saying that it lacks every game, but they have to be on their P's and Q's if they want to beat the Georgia Bulldog defense, and I think the Georgia Bulldog defense prevails. And I really don't want to say that because I don't like either of these teams. I don't want either of these teams to go to the national championship. But if I had to pick the lesser of the two evils, I'm going to go Georgia here.
I'm taking the reigning, defending, undisputed national champions of the world. Give me Ohio State. There's literally no reason not to. I think this is going to be a 28-13 victory. Just slogged out the first 2 quarters, getting to halftime. Ryan Day goes in there. They're going to take my job. They come back out, fire on all cylinders. Brian Hartline trying to put together something before he goes to USF.
He's already left. He's not coaching him.
Not coaching the playoffs.
Nope.
The Chip Kelly's coming back. No, please don't bring him back. Matt Patricia, man, he's coaching that defense. He's got Curry looking like a maniac. Give me Ohio. So Ohio State, Indiana rematch for me. Georgia, Indiana for you. I think we both are going with the same option here. I'm going Indiana.
I want to. If it comes down to this, I want to say Indiana.
Don't go with your head. Go with your heart.
I want to say Indiana just because it's a reality. It's a dream come true. If Mendoza wins the Heisman, wins the national championship, I just don't know. I really just don't know.
If this time to say it, because it starts next week.
Like I said, this Georgia defense has been absolutely phenomenal. And the way, because when they played Alabama the first time they played, Alabama put belt to ass to Georgia. And I was like, Georgia's defensive reign is over. And then when they played Alabama and the same Alabama team that beat the shit out of them earlier in the year, they come in and not flip them this way, but not flip them this way, but flip them this way, flip them that way, flip them this way, flip them that way, and flip them that way, all over the field. Made Ty Simpson look like he was that good of a quarterback. I'm going to go Indiana here, but it's going to be a struggle of a game for Indiana because that Georgia defense is going to be on par. And, Kirby Smart's been there before. He knows what to do. He knows what game plan that he wants, especially against any team that he plays. I'm going to go Indiana, though. Mendoza, you get your ring, you get your Heisman Trophy, and you might be the number one overall pick.
And you're going to the Vegas Raiders.
You're going to the Raiders at number one.
Bubble popped like shit. I think Indiana's gonna if this is gonna be a very long playoff.
Now, if Ohio State loses and Georgia loses, then it's Indiana's to lose, regardless.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. If Indiana has to play Bama, it could be bad.
I don't think so as well.
If Indiana has to play Oregon, they beat them once, but it was a struggle.
I go if Indiana has to play Oregon, I think that's going to be a problem. I think Indiana single-handedly handles Alabama because Alabama's offense sucks. They almost got beat by Auburn.
Now, Ole Miss could be a different conversation if they make it this far. If I'm not even going to think about Tulane or JMU because that would be.
What if JMU ends up going on?
JMU versus Indiana would feed generations.
You know that if the college football playoff is scripted like the NFL, they want to see JMU versus Indiana.
I don't think they wanted to put them in. I think they were legitimately considering, should we just put Duke in? Like, should we just put Duke in? And they're like, no.
But what? Okay, so here's the thought. What if JMU comes in and they beat Oregon? They beat the brakes off of Oregon. They don't even
And they're legit. Like, you can't sit there and call them an underdog after that if they beat
Oregon.
Oregon.
What if they barely beat Oregon and they still win? Can you really call them
legit? They're legit.
You call them legit.
I'd call them legit. I'd say they're legit.
Even though this Oregon team has struggled against subpar mediocre teams all year.
With a number one quarterback playing his ass off, you've got you got great defense. Dan Lanning's one of the best masterminds of drawing stuff up to get people open, and you got Kenyon Sadiq, who's the best tight end in the country, apparently, other than Stowers. People are Sadiq is Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Kyle Pitts. So
but then you would have a tough matchup in the Orange Bowl against the Texas Tech team, who I don't know if you could beat, but I think you probably could because Texas Tech is one of those weird teams where they could lose a game like this. And you wouldn't even be shocked. You'd be like, they lose a game like this. You'd be like, oh, okay, it's Texas Tech in the normal fashion. And then you get your matchup against Kirk Cignetti and his old team in the JMU Dukes. And what if Kirk Cignetti loses to JMU?
Their entire coaching staff's going to UCLA.
Their entire coaching staff
is going to UCLA after they lose in the playoffs. If they lose, if
I
they
know,
lose, they win it all.
but still, it's like you look at it. And
Imagine
like,
JMU brings home the first Sun Belt national championship.
if JMU wins the national championship, all these mid-major teams will start feeling good about themselves.
It'll change the landscape of college football.
It'll change
Because
this. So,
if Tulane or James Madison wins
well,
a national.
Tulane, I still don't count as mid-major because they used to be a part of the SEC.
They did.
So-
But if this was like seriously, people will start taking all of it more seriously. Of you can go anywhere in the country and fight.
This is why I'm saying if James Madison beats Oregon, I think all these mid-major schools will be like, okay, if James Madison a Sun Belt James Madison, who's from the Sun Belt, one of the shittiest conferences, can go in and beat the Big Ten powerhouse, former Pac-12 powerhouse, and the Oregon Ducks. You can go in there and beat them. And then you put up a good game. I don't even say you lose to Texas Tech, but you put in a good game against Texas Tech. You go in there, you play your ass off, you play good, and you lose. That's a good look. That's a great look because you beat Oregon, you almost beat Texas Tech, and that's a good look for mid-major. Now, if you're Tulane and you beat Ole Miss, and then who would you play? You would play
Georgia.
You'd play Georgia. You go in and you beat a two-time national championship or three-time national championship winning defense. You go in there and you beat them. Now people's going to be like, okay, us as mid-majors, us as these small schools, if we do the right things, we can do this. We can win. And it'll start putting more respect on college football as a whole. I really want to see an upset happen to where we can see the respect put on these mid-major schools, because I think some of these mid-major schools could win against these big schools, and you never know, could mess around and win the national championship.
I think we, they need to start putting more emphasis on the SEC gets like just too much, like they just get too much praise. If Vanderbilt fucked around and they had Georgia's wins and losses by the exact same scores, they wouldn't be the third team in the country.
Nope.
And they're in the SEC. They value too much pedigree over actual like talent. And so, like, as good as Ohio State was, they didn't deserve to be the number 2 team in the country after they lost to Indiana.
No, I think they should be number 4 or 3.
It should have been your top conference champions, and that means it should have been your Big 10, your SEC, your Big 12, and then whoever, like
the American at that point, because I think they wanted to.
Like, I mean, like, and they need to fix conferences so that way they're more competitive. The SEC, I think I love the way that, and you can't really apply this. I love the way that the Premier League and English football does their stuff, where you have teams, you have your Premier League, you have the Championship League, EFL 1, EFL 2. Those are like the big 4, I guess.
Yeah.
Where if you do really well in EFL League 1, you go up to the Championship. If you do well in the Championship, you go up to the Prem. If you're terrible in the Prem, you go down. And that's what college football should be. Vanderbilt's doing good now. But let's say they don't do good next year. They should not be in the SEC anymore. Or the SEC shouldn't exist. Conferences shouldn't exist. It should just be 1 to 152 or however many fucking teams are in college football.
Honestly, I do agree, but I don't agree at the same time. I think the divisions help us separate, I'm not going to say help us separate the teams by putting them in their geographical location. Some of them in their geographical.
So the ACC was Stanford.
I said some. I said keyword. Some of them in their geographical.
Last time I checked, Texas State is not in the Pacific Coast.
They're on this side.
Pacific Coast. Texas.
They're on this side. They're closer to the Pacific Coast than they are the Atlantic Coast, though.
True, but the Pacific Coast Conference, the Pac-12, which is
they're right here. So look, there's water in Texas, right? It's right here.
It is. Yeah, but like
Right
Stanford,
there.
they should be Pac-12. Cal should be back in the Pac-12. Like these teams that are in the ACC, like Pittsburgh should not be in the ACC.
See, but look, what hurt college football was when they dismantled the Pac-12, in my opinion, just because you got teams like you said, Cal, SMU, Stanford, and the ACC. Why? Why couldn't they get a bid to go to the Big 12? They could have went to the Big 12. You could have moved some of the teams like Cincinnati's in the Big 10 or the Big 12. Why? Put them in the Big 10.
Yeah.
You could have put UCF. You could have put UCF, who's in the Big 12, in the Big 10.
Yeah, I would have split it into thirds. I would have not 3 conferences, but I would have limited. If you'd have the East, Central, West, split right into 3s, and if you are Texas, if you're in if you're in one part of Texas, you could be in the East. If you're in the eastern part, if you're in the western part, you're in the West, and then the middle of Texas is the Central, and that goes straight up. And you have. That way, all your SEC schools are playing in the Southeast, and then you can draw other lines. The Southeastern conferences have to be in this part. The Atlantic Coast can be this part, but you can't. You have to be on the coast. You have to be close to the coast. You have to be within 100 miles of the coast.
Yeah.
Or just don't name it that, and then you can have Mountain West and all that bullshit. But regardless of it. It's very frustrating that if the SEC like Georgia, if Georgia went 9 and 7, right? No,
Yeah.
9 and or they only have 12 games, so it would have been 9 and 3. If they went 9 and 3, they would still be in the playoffs somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama made the playoffs with 3 losses,
and it's just not fair because if you're SEC, if you're a SEC powerhouse, hell, Ohio State probably would have made it with 3 losses. If you are a powerhouse team or an SEC powerhouse, you're going to get an automatic bid.
Yeah.
An automatic bid, and that's terrible. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
And
now they've added Oklahoma and Texas to that as well.
Yeah. And what I wanted was I kind of wanted them to do it like March Madness. Do like a 64 team, have 64 teams, and you do it like March Madness. You play 1 through 16, or the first 8 teams will get a bye. Or you can do the first 16. The first 16 teams will get that first round bye. If you wanted to do it like that.
Crazy though.
If you wanted to do it like that. Because supposedly they want the top 4 teams to have a bye. So if you wanted to.
I mean, because if not, then you have like, well, what does it mean to be the number 1 team in the country if you're having to play anyway?
Yeah, but
like,
I think they should play regardless. They should play regardless.
Like I'd be like, I'd rather be, the 8th or 9th team rather than the 5th or the 6th team, because then I'm playing teams that are, I'd rather have and plus if I'm not gonna have a home game, So anyway,
but I look at it like this: the 1 seed should play regardless. If you want to prove yourself as the 1 seed, say they did bring out the 64 March Madness bracket, you would have. Oh shit! I'm just gonna name a random ass team. You'd have Indiana versus
LA Tech.
No, they don't have enough wins. So
they do. They're bowl eligible.
Oh, they're bowl eligible. Okay,
they're playing Coastal this year.
Okay, then LA Tech. So you would have Indiana versus LA Tech, 1 and 16.
Okay.
Do you not think that would be fun though?
No, it would be a massacre.
No, it would be a massacre. But like, say you split it up in like those divisions. Say you've got like say a team that's not been good this year. That's usually like decent, like
Mississippi State. No, they're
Mississippi. No.
LSU hasn't been very good this year.
But say you get an LSU that's like 15-14, and you got to play a Texas Tech, a Notre Dame, or a Miami. Do you think that's not going to be LSU going to come to play no matter what? LSU is a top echelon SEC team. But to your point, how many SEC teams you think gonna make make it in a
I
64
think they
team.
should. I think they should have a rule in place where, like, conference champion has to make it, and then it's the next two instead of four. Because then it would have been, you had Georgia, who was the SEC champions, and then you would have had
Ole Miss.
State, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, no Oklahoma, no Alabama. That's fair.
Mississippi State's not that good though.
Not Mississippi State. It was Texas A&M. This one.
Yeah, Texas A&M. Yeah.
But yeah, you wouldn't have had any. You wouldn't have had any not Mississippi State. Jesus Christ, Oklahoma or Alabama.
Yeah.
Neither one.
No, with Oklahoma's resume, I think you would.
But that would be the rule. Is you can have 3 teams from the SEC. You can have 3 teams from the Big 12, 3 teams from the Big 10, 3 teams from the American, the ACC, and the Sun Belt if they fucking make it.
The only reason. So if you're doing a 64 team playoff bracket.
No, we're not talking about no 64 team anymore. We're talking about just current playoffs. You have 3 SEC teams that are allowed to be in it, and it's your top 3 seed. It's your conference champion makes it no matter what, and it's your other 2 top teams
fighting for a spot.
No, your top 2 teams make it, or you have your top team in the SEC that's not your conference champion, and then you have an at-large spot for the SEC, and someone makes it. That would be fair. Same thing with Big 12, Big 10, ACC, Sun Belt,
Gotcha.
And the independent Notre Dame's got to play well enough to make it. That's
why they should go to a conference.
They should be the first ones left out until they join a conference every single fucking year. I'm fine with it because then Brigham Young would have made it this year, which they should have with Bear Bachmeier, my goat. Bear Bachmeier.
Vanderbilt should have made it as well too.
But here's the thing: you got 8 other SEC teams that all have resumes where they're buying for stuff.
Alabama.
Yep, Bama shouldn't have made it. Mississippi State, not Mississippi State. Oklahoma shouldn't have made it.
No, Oklahoma has a win. Oklahoma has a win over Alabama and someone else too. That's right.
I know, but they weren't ranked as high as Texas A&M. Texas A&M was ranked higher. That's why that at-large spot, Oklahoma or Texas A&M, who would you take?
Texas A&M.
Ole Miss would have definitely made it, but Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, or Oklahoma would be those teams. And then Big 12, you'd have your teams. Big 10, you'd have your teams, and you just fill it out. But you have at least 4 conference champions make it, and those are your top 4 seeds. SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and then either your American, your ACC, or your Sun Belt.
I agree, but they changed that rule. Last year it was the 4 top conference champions.
Yeah, but they don't care anymore.
And this year it's whoever's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's all they care about.
Anyway, honestly, we could sit here and talk about this till the cows come home.
Yeah, I know.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it is, but I hate football's gonna be ruined. College football gonna be ruined in the next 5 years with this NIL, and then it's gonna crash, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, we should stop doing it." Like, yeah, you should have done it. You should have never done it in the first place. You ruined college football. But this has been Inside the Cage. I'm your host, Brady Johnson. Here with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the brother of Cowboys tight end, Jake Ferguson. Your brother plays this week, by the way.
He does. You know who else plays? Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. He's starting against the Seattle Seahawks. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Chinnon Nwosu is going to come off the edge. He's going to blow by Matt Gonzalez, and he's going to hit the absolute fuck out of Phillip Rivers.
Who's in the middle right there? The big guy, Leonard Williams.
And you also got Byron Young. Byron Young watches Tanner Bortolini fall down, jumps over. Rivers doesn't even look, just goes down.
But yeah, guys, that's it from us here Inside the Cage.